Ladies, did you know that April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month? It's a time to raise awareness, support families, and do whatever we can to make sure all of our children are safe. And one local organization that does that every minute of every single day is the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. We are happy to have Molly Brown with us this morning. She is the CEO of the St. Louis Crisis Nursery, and it is always good to see you, Molly.
Oh, good to see you. Thanks for having us.
I like setting the stage for people, just if they are not familiar with the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. What do you do?
So we provide emergency care for families when their kiddos when a family is going through any kind of crisis. So kids birth through age 12 can come and stay at one of our 5 locations when a family is experiencing a difficult time. And so sometimes that might be a big thing like homelessness or lack of food or utilities in the home. But sometimes it could be a parent who is just at the end of their rope and really overwhelmed and doesn't have a support system to turn to.
And something that's amazing is you have been doing this now for 40 years. That's a big deal in itself, but something that amazes me is how the Crisis Nursery has evolved as our community has evolved too over the last 4 decades.
Absolutely. So, when I think about where we started with one location and we were then in the Deaconess College of Nursing building, and now we've grown to 5 locations where kids can stay and 10 community outreach centers where our social workers and counselors work with families after those kiddos stay with us at the nursery.
And I think that's so amazing that there are so many locations, because sometimes a crisis can also be transportation related.
Absolutely.
And it's so hard for families to get to one of your locations, or if there was only one location.
Right.
It's now so much easier because you are throughout the community.
Right, so we think about our locations in St. Louis City, North County, St. Charles, Wentzville, Lincoln County, South County, and Jefferson County. So we work really hard to be embedded in the communities where our families are.
I mentioned the milestone that you are celebrating, and this is really something to celebrate. 40 years of keeping babies and children safe, but also keeping families together.
Yes, we love that. That is absolutely part of our mission, is making sure that families have the resources and support that they need to thrive. And so what's important to us as we honor 40 years is really looking at what do our families need, what does the community need, and how do we make sure that the Crisis Nursery is still here for kids and families for the next 40 years.
And I think that's a good question to hit on. What can our viewers at home do to make sure that the St. Louis Crisis Nursery is here providing these resources for the next 4 decades and beyond?
That's one of the most special things I think about the nursery, is that there's so many ways to get involved. Our website has all of the opportunities, from the special events that are coming up to ways to volunteer to the things that we need in terms of donations or ways to support families directly. So I would encourage any viewer that's interested in supporting kids and families in our community to check that out.
And there are also some job openings, I understand, too.
We do have some job openings. So we would love to have people who are interested in helping keep kids safe, and thinking about working with our kids in the nurseries, people with a social work background who want to support our families in home long term. It's a great opportunity.
And you can get all of those details by heading to crisisnurserykids.org. And actually, we're going to do a much deeper dive into this organization on today's Live with Laura. Molly is going to join me on the podcast at 10:30. I hope you can tune in to our First Alert 4 on streaming platform. Kent?
Honestly, ladies, one of the things that I'm proudest of about working at Channel 4 is the years and years of relationship that we've had and partnerships with Crisis Nursery. And I know other media outlets help as well. It's not exclusive to us, but it's such a great group, such a great group.